I do have a question for you, Jesse, as the resident Kendrick enthusiast on the show.
Go ahead.
I do have a question.
Yes.
What beef in rap has he ever been in where it went to round 2? He dissed someone, it got a response, and then he responded to the response.
I don't know. Who's responded to him, really?
Huh?
Like, with more than just, like, one line. Like, who's dedicated, like, a whole verse to him? Or, like, I haven't paid that close attention, maybe.
Look, all I'm saying is, Big 3 included, when has he ever taken a beef to round 2? You know how Drake, like, dissed Pusha T, then Pusha T hit him with the story of Adidon, you know? Like,
Drake punches below his weight class. Intentionally.
I'm just, Jesse, you know how, like, Meek Mill, you know, he got charged up first, then Meek Mill dropped Wanna Know, then Drake dropped back to back? Round 2?
Yeah.
Like, have we ever seen a Kendrick
before Wanna Know, but you know.
But have we ever seen Kendrick go to round 2 with anybody?
I don't think he's that kind of a... Before this recent verse, I don't think he's that kind of a rapper, really.
I don't either, which is why it confuses me why he, you know, parades himself around like he is, you know?
He doesn't parade himself. He has one verse.
He carries himself like a battle rapper, like he wants to prove he's the best.
I've never heard him go to round 2 with anyone he's talked shit about.
Creatively, yeah, he's gonna say, like, I'm trying to be better than you, or I'm smoking on your top 5, or I'm out rapping everybody, but he's not, like, really in... He hasn't really been in diss mode before this recent thing, and I've only heard that verse once. I played it once, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even interested at this age.
Well, you and me connect there.
Like, Kendrick is more interested in...
I'm just saying, rappers
moments.
Typically, like, who throw shots... do diss records like Eminem, 50 Cent, you know, even Lil Wayne with Pusha T. Like, there's been multiple rounds. People go back and forth. Nas and Jay.
I don't want to sound like too much of a mark, but I feel like Kendrick's overall mission is greater than that.
Then why is he engaging at all?
He's on a Future and Metro album. I don't think he would have done that on one of his own albums. He said, fuck it, let me have some fun. Does a new one come out tonight?
No, next week.
Makes sense.
Next week. My theory, unconfirmed, is Drake is going to reply on that one. Just theory style. Like, I don't buy into the whole, Future and Metro don't like Drake. No. I feel like this is all industry bullshit, and we're going to get Drake's response next week to Kendrick.
Will Kendrick respond to Drake? Will he go to round 2 for the first time in his career?
What do you mean first time? Like, how many people have come at him? Crazy.
I'll say this, Jesse, because you said you may not be aware. There's an article here. Songs responding to Kendrick Lamar's Control verse written by BET. Apparently there are, what is this? Like 20 songs here?
Yeah, there was a lot of clout chasing going on.
Was what he did.
Were some of the people he named responding consider clout chasing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Some people consider the Control verse to be, quote, clout chasing in itself.
I'm not being funny, Mools. Bishop Nehru had a reply.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he has to reply to everybody.
No, I wouldn't pay any mind to people I didn't mention on the record, but didn't, like, Big Crit, for example, have a reply?
Yeah, Mount Olympus and...
Kendrick mentioned Crit? I don't remember everybody he
Big
mentioned.
Crit Wale? You know?
Oh.
I don't know if that was the actual
Tyler McMillan?
I always forget. Yeah, Tyler McMillan.
Yeah. Some of them took it the right way. Pusha T said, I heard you loud and clear, like you want to rap. Other people got offended.
He proceeded to rap like a fucking campfire storyteller for the next however many years.
However, though, Pusha T and Drake have gone multiple rounds with themselves and others. So.
That's like generational shit.
Anyway.
Drake is an extension of Young Money. Pusha T has had an issue with Wayne since forever.
Kendrick is scared. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say.
That. Of who?
of whoever, like he's I don't know, whoever of going to of himself of going a second round and disappointing everybody.
He is not the scared one of the big three, and I'll leave it there.
I wouldn't say he's scared. I just get the sense that he just does things for no good reason. Like he doesn't even know what he's trying to get out of this. Like, does he? Like, I don't even get the sense he wants a response. You know what I mean? It's like it's.
But Jesse, what if he gets a response? Does he owe Drake a response in turn at that point?
Yes.
And what if he doesn't give it?
If the response is potent.
Here we go. The goalpost move again. It can't just be a response. The response has to be potent.
Like, if the response is like, holy shit, like, you know, like he said some hard shit about Kendrick and like, then Kendrick is going to fire back. And yeah.
We've never seen Kendrick fire back, though. Agreed?
Who was coming him crazy enough?
I'm just saying, the boy has come at him pretty crazy throughout the years, right?
Well, what? I could have all of his fans if I got on some conscious shit? That's not really... That's one of them. What else has he said about him?
I mean, back when the Control verse dropped and he did the Crown interview, the thing that led to the falling out initially, he was saying, you know, and Jesse, he made a great point. No one's going to remember the Control verse years from now.
It was just a moment, you know? It was just a moment. I'm about creating bigger moments than that.
It's a difficult time for a lot of people right now.
It's a difficult time. It's a difficult time. These guys, they feel like they can, you know, they can take 5 years off. I can't afford to do that because I'm the boy.
The Jesse Drake impression sort of sounds like Rihanna. I dig it either way.
These guys, and before we get to enough with that stupid ass narrative, he took 5 years. Like, enough.
Well, how many years did he take?
I explained this on Twitter already. Enough.
Look, folks,
what's the explanation? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Other people, Taylor Swift dropped 2 albums in that pandemic. What are we talking about?
He was working on his music, and yeah.
He was working on his music, and yeah, it took him 5 fucking years to drop an album. 18 tracks.
He had to come up with whatever.
It took him way too long to cook that up.
Who are you to tell a man how long it takes?
I'm seeing what the others are doing. Future was dropping albums during the pandemic. Drake was dropping albums. Taylor was dropping albums. What makes him so special? Why does it take him 3 times longer to make music than everybody else?
I don't know Taylor's process. Drake and Future don't put that much effort, at least at this phase of their career. They don't put that much effort into their shit. Kendrick is trying to create like something bigger than, oh, he just dropped an album. He's like trying to create statements and shit. And sorry for sounding like a mark.
Hey, I mean,
they're all look. It's just different marketing. That's all.
What do you mean?
The marketing is that he's making a difference and that he's coming up with statements. It's just
not marketing. You know, that's what happens.
Ain't no happens. Okay, it's make believe.
The whole, you know,
he had to tell you marks to chill out. He told y'all geek down on that. I am not your savior.
Okay, but the whole album was full of statements.
Very, very cagey statements, though. You know, complicated.
Don't be
statements.
transphobic. Don't like, you know, forgive your molesters and all that crazy shit. But like, no other rap album in modern history has like even made those attempts, whether they landed or not.
That's fucking cat, but okay.
Modern history. Who else is covering material like
not on the first rapper to address, you know, transphobia or homophobia?
Recent history, who?
Or, you know,
on a major label, perhaps, but
recent history, who?
Someone of his stature, perhaps, but like, bro, I mean, there's a lot of rap out there, you know.
Recent history, who? I'm asking, Mo.
I mean, shit, bro. I mean, motherfucker, like, you know, are you not hip? You listen to more rap than me, probably. You haven't heard.
I don't hear none of that covered
shit. You're listening to the wrong.
Like I could really.
Wasn't Murs kissing another man in a video 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
We don't care. We don't care.
Right, because your chosen warrior is Kendrick, and people don't want to acknowledge that in this game of hip hop, it's like a character select screen, and everyone has
1,000 people heard that Murs song. Moles and Mel didn't even know about that song when I told you about it.
You're a Kendrick.
It wasn't a big moment. He did that on a big album, huh?
No, that's what I was saying. On a mainstream major label level, you might have a point, but there's plenty of that kinds of subject matter on albums
that no one is listening to.
Some of which that you've probably heard and have just forgotten about.
You memory hold it because it wasn't Kendrick. You know, we're all guilty of it at some point. It's like, you know,
it's not a Kendrick
rappers
thing.
Can talk about something, but until it comes from someone you know or respect, it's like it never happened. It's
whether
it's the unfortunate, you know,
whether I was a mark for this man or not, the fact would remain that he's the only one that's done this on a mainstream level. And Lord knows I don't know how long. He's challenging, you know.
And by the way, Hamilton did all that stuff you're talking about.
Hamilton has done a lot of shit. Okay.
That's true. That is true.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know what kind of point you think you're making here about Kendrick.
If you really want me to super mark out,
I don't know what kind of point I'm making about Kendrick, other than he can't.
If you want me to be a super mark, I could argue that maybe Fonte was inspired by that, you know, whatever, to, you know, reveal things from his past on the Black Milk album and the,
I don't,
you know,
think
and in the
Fonte
documentary.
Needs Kendrick for motivation.
I don't say needs. Regard. I said inspired. Maybe that moment had him say, you know, I can let some of my demons out.
Did he say that?
No, I'm theorizing. I said I said I could mark out. I could theorize.
He ain't listen. Ain't no inspo. Okay.
No, there's inspiration.
Those Pinterest inspo boards, right? Isn't that what they're called?
There was a point where Big Pooh was the bigger rapper than Kendrick, and they were on a song together at that point. So.
Where did that come from? All right, well,
I'm just saying.
Look, my thought
they respect and are inspired by him.
My thought on the whole current situation between all these rappers, everybody other than J. Cole, this message is for you.
Get a life, kid.
Yeah.
So. Well, hold on, Mel. Now that we found out that J. Cole was subbing Kendrick, you have to stop saying that.
Subbing Kendrick on what?
No,
I don't pay attention.
His first-person shooter record.
The thing is, though,
I don't think he was subbing him. They have great
it's
respect
always been strictly about rap. It's not a like I like this guy as a person thing. You know, rap subs are not cause for major, you know, discord. You know,
I think
they're all
Cole is
fucking
Switzerland.
Clowns, but
I think Cole is Switzerland. He likes them both. He's neutral.
Ain't no Switzerland, all right? They're all fucking clowns, but people will only admit that 2 out of the 3 of them are clowns, and I don't like that.
Well, people will only admit that the people they don't like are clowns, you know? Like,
people admit that who's a clown.
That Drake and J. Cole are clowns.
What? Where's J. Cole a clown? For what reason?
But, you know, his overly earned, like, people don't like his whole shtick.
I call him All Shucks Cole. Oh, shucks, man. I'm just trying to be the best rapper and, you know, inspire other rappers. You know, it's not no real beef. It's just about the spirit of competition, you know.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Listening to cannabis, you know.
There's only one of the 3 that doesn't want to compete. He wants to compete on sales and popularity, and he doesn't want to compete at rapping.
You're right. There is one that refuses to compete. It's the one that never goes a second round in a beef. Even Cole responded to No Name, okay? And that wasn't no beef. That was just some banter.
He didn't diss her on that song. You guys are being ridiculous.
It was banter.
But they never had a beef.
I never said he dissed her.
I never said that. I said it was but they're bantering. They
went back and forth.
They went back and forth. Kendrick doesn't go back and forth with people, so I don't know why he jumped in and decides I'm going to diss these guys, and you know, knowing full well he's not ready for a beef with either of them.
What do you mean he's not ready?
With you niggas.
Okay, so if Cole and Drake decided to just start releasing diss records towards Kendrick, is Kendrick ready to go on the offensive?
He would have no choice. He would have no choice at that point.
But we've never seen it happen before, right?
Who has made a whole diss record about him? I'm confused with this conversation.
Apparently 20 people. So I'm just asking.
I know from personal experience, SLR2 by the rapper you hate, Jesse, Lupe Fiasco.
That was a Kendrick diss?
The whole thing was addressing Kendrick.
I'm not being funny. Was he dissing him on it? I don't get what that may be talking about. Was it a diss or like I'm just addressing him? I'm asking earnestly. He would know better than me. Was he disrespectful?
It was him addressing the situation as a rapper. And the point we're making here is that of all the people who responded to the thing, people who were named and unnamed, I don't recall Kendrick responding to any of those people. You know,
was SLR a response to Control?
SLR2
was it a response to Control or?
Yes.
Oh, see, he never responded to any of the Control responses though, Jesse, and there's 20 of them.
He didn't have to.
Why does he get to play by different rules?
So he can call people out by name, but he doesn't have to reply to them when they diss him. But if Cole and Drake dissed him, he'd be compelled to have to respond. Explain.
They have bigger platforms.
Does Drake not have a bigger platform?
Hold on. So you're playing
Future not have a bigger platform?
Well, he's saying
you said
Future? He's saying that they have bigger platforms than Lupe, so he doesn't have to respond to Lupe.
No, they have.
Isn't that
they have
Drake,
bigger platforms than anybody?
Isn't
who's
that
ever
the
distant.
excuse you're using for why Drake doesn't have to get involved? Is because he only cares about sales and whatever, because he's bigger than all of them, so he doesn't have that's his. Stake in all of this. Like, what are we talking about here?
No, I'm saying Drake won't because he's resting on that I'm the number one guy thing. Like in his mind and in the feeble minds of his mega stans, as long as the fucking Sevs and the Hineses of the world, as long as he's the most popular, that's all that matters.
But then how come, while Drake was the most popular, how come Drake engaged in rap beefs and went back and forth with people then?
I just said he punched below his weight class. Meaning, I have more fans than you, so I can diss you, Pusha T. Meek Mill, I know you can't rap with me, so I can diss you. He knows, he picks and chooses his battles. Okay.
And I think until enough time has passed where you can definitively say he didn't respond, this is all theory, speculation, hypothetical talk. Like, we don't know why Drake does what he does.
We know why he does what
he does. It's just a bunch of hip hop marks surveying the situation with their biases in mind, and they make statements about these things.
What do you mean we know why Drake does? We don't know why Drake does what he does.
You say, oh, he's not responding because he's the number one guy and he punches below his. All that could be true, but you're speculating that. You've never talked to Drake to confirm that.
Mel, I'm not speculating. That's his.
Also,
that is
if you're saying Meek Mill and Pusha T are below Drake, so that's why he responded to them. I hate to break it to you, Kendrick's below Drake too. He's not on Drake's level. Drake is the biggest recording artist in rap, period. Everyone is below him.
On a technicality basis, Kendrick is below Drake. Pusha T is way below Drake. Like, super below Drake. Meek Mill could not. Yeah, he can't.
So you're saying it's Drake who's scared, not Kendrick.
I mean, what is his response? What has his response been so far?
To what? The new verse that just came out?
To anything.
Well, you already listed one of them.
These guys are cute. They just create moments, It was just a moment.
He got at him on an unreleased Uzi song. There's been countless tossed off lines over the past however many years referring to him.
Lines.
Yeah, lines. Poking, prodding. Expecting this man to hear these lines and
go to the booth for whatever like a real rapper would.
It wouldn't work in his favor. I promise you.
We don't know that though, because the big point we're making is it's a guy who's done this with other rappers versus a guy
Drake
who
is
never
battle
actually
tested
has.
and Kendrick is not. Who has Kendrick ever won in a rap beef against?
Who
has he ever engaged back and forth?
No one has dared. Bro, MGK beat Eminem in a battle. Remember that.
Okay, no one has dared to come at Kendrick on that level. It hasn't. We haven't seen it happen.
That's Mark talk, because this is like presenting him as some kind of boogeyman.
20 people went at him, including Lupe Fiasco.
You know?
Give me the names, Mel, from this article.
Okay. Let's see. J. Cole on the TKO remix. He said, I was home alone. Next thing I know, that long ass verse from a song called Control was on.
That's a diss.
Meek Mill on Ooh Kill 'Em. It's a response. Meek Mill on Ooh Kill 'Em said, Hove gave
I don't need to know the lines. Just tell me who the names are.
Meek Mill, Shine, Joe Budden, Uncle
Shine,
Murda,
Joe Budden in 2013.
Fiasco.
I'm sorry, who's after Joe Budden?
Uncle Murda.
Uncle Murda. What? Okay, keep going.
Lupe Fiasco.
Uncle Murda is more relevant than Kendrick.
Okay, I hear you, because he was on the Final Lap tour.
He was on the Final Lap tour, which I didn't see Kendrick. We were at the LA stop. He wasn't there. Nas came out. But also, Uncle Murda does the wrap-up every year, which many people enjoy. I don't see many people enjoying Kendrick.
Hate to break it to you, Moles. The Mr. Morale tour was like way more successful than the Final Lap. We can keep going.
Run the numbers. I don't believe that's true.
That's one of the most successful tours. Like, I'm not.
You read that in the TDE Times, okay? I don't want to hear that.
I didn't read it in the TDE Times. It was a very successful tour. Keep going with the names, Mo. Uncle Murda.
Lupe,
more relevant.
Joel Ortiz. B.O.B.
Joel Ortiz.
Yawa.
Yawa, yeah.
Fred the Godson. Busy Crook. Mickey Fax. Another Lupe song. King Los. Astro. Cassidy. Okay, I guess Kevin Hart. That's a joke. Iman Shumpert wrote a song called Dear Kendrick, apparently. Ransom, Mad Rapper, and Papoose.
Kendrick's pussy.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
I wouldn't go there. All I'm saying is...
I have one line to sum this up. You're a candle in the sun. That shit don't even out. Okay?
Huh? Who said that?
You did a whole season on the man. Season 2.
I don't remember every line of every song we reviewed.
You did a whole...
I do remember I gave Ho Veto.
What you just said to me was you've only heard the blueprint for the show.
6+. That's not what I just said to you. 6+. I actually listened to the blueprint the other day. Actually, no cap.
Huh?
Yeah, huh?
So
nobody remembers every line of every song. That isn't even a particularly like amazing sounding line. That's my only skip on that album. So there's no wonder I don't. Actually, no, it's my second skip. Never Change and Ohio Veto. Anyway,
Never Change was a skip?
That's disgusting. I'm reminded at that disgusting take.
Brother.
Hey.
Exactly. Oh, brother. Now, Jay, see, the other rapper you stand, Jesse, I like him, at least when he was in his prime. Kendrick, they got you believing in false idols. That's that blog era bullshit, baby.
I don't believe in blog era bullshit. What are you talking about?
We know. You were all on that way. You were on the TDE and the Odd Future fucking payroll for years. You just got off of it.
I was not on the TDE payroll. I don't think any of them... I was going to do a deep dive. I don't know if any of them have, like, classic albums aside from him. I don't know if any of them have record club albums aside from him.
Well, now he's PG Lang, so you don't have to be, and they don't pay you no more. So you'd be honest.
No one's ever paid me. No one's ever paid me.
We're gonna talk about Clifford Harris.
We can, yeah. Sure. I was just look. A good old Jesse stepping in. Guest spot gimmick is not complete without a tangent like that,
Yeah.
I mean, at least it was
Without
about hip
bad
hop.
narratives about me.
If I would have known we were gonna do like the big three talk, I would have been prepared because I've but,
I didn't need to be prepared. Just going off the vibes,
no, it's just that
One's in
the
the
whole
air
conversation exhausts me, and I could have. Yeah, Jesse, I'll just say,
Mind you, I've heard that verse once, and I was like, whatever. So I'm not like, waving the fucking Kendrick banner in this, but
you did a lot of water carrying for him, on the timeline. So,
did I really? In regards to this situation?
Yeah.
Guys, I'll be right back, and then we can get into the Clifford Harris.
He got the best catalog of the big three.
What was it, stepping away? Okay,
that's not up for debate. He got the best catalog of the big three.
Everything's up for debate.
No, like
ultimately.
No,
he
has
least... everybody's stupid on Mr. Morale. That was one of my favorite moments.
No, he has like the least mid out of all three of them.
Mid is a term that apparently has lost meaning, but it's also subjective. So,
he has the least.
What I can say is he has the most critically acclaimed catalog.
No, if you go to Wikipedia and pull up everybody's catalog, Drake is on a decline at this point.
I just said the most critically acclaimed catalog. Critics prefer Kendrick to Drake.
No, we're not talking about critics. So we're talking about music.
But that's your opinion.
That's your opinion.
We're talking about musical facts. Drake is on a decline. Cole had to like warm up to kind of where he is now. No pun intended. My argument was Kendrick has the best catalog of the big three.
And I said that is, of course, an opinion, but what can't be denied is he's the most critically acclaimed of the big three.
Yeah, for sure.
Ain't no critically acclaimed. I'm talking about he has the best catalog. I'm not a music critic.
That's your opinion.
I don't know about
that.
That
is your opinion. That is, there is no way to verify that.
Let me put it this way, Jesse.
There is a way to verify this.
I think his best album is To Pimp a Butterfly. What did I give that one, Mel? 79.5%.
Yeah.
What do I think is Drake's best album? Probably Nothing Was the Same. What did I give that? An 81%. So I think Drake's best album is better than Kendrick's best album.
Okay. Now,
and that would be your opinion. But what can't be denied is the professional critics who give out their fucking reviews and everything.
Right, like the Metacritic. Kendrick has the highest Metacritic score out of the three of them.
Yeah, he's the most critically acclaimed. His catalog has the most value according to the governing body, I guess, of music.
No, I'm not talking about critics. Simple question here for you. Yes or no? Does Kendrick have it for all the dogs in his whole catalog?
Yeah, it's called Damn.
No, Damn is better than that album. Does Kendrick have a Certified Lover Boy in his album?
According in his catalog? You.
No, according to the world outside of the marks, for all the dogs is a piece of shit.
Yeah, critics have said this. Yes.
Why do you keep saying the word critics? I'm talking about
because our individual opinion doesn't factor in, or else we would have to factor in 8 billion people. Based on the people who get paid to review these albums, you can look at whatever the critical consensus is and say, yes, his catalog is most revered. Your opinion is that Kendrick is, the god of all this and is infallible.
I didn't say
and you're presenting that as fact, and that's not fact. But the closest thing we have to fact is
we did Damn,
critical opinion.
Right? Season 1, episode 5. I gave it a 49.5%. Mel gave it a 44%.
Okay, we'll get to we'll get to Mool's ratings. That's the next segment. After the TI. But point being, we're not talking about critics. We're talking about put the three guys walk into a room. You got to point out who's made the most, solid albums.
And how do we decide that? Opinion.
And based on what? Our personal taste or the critical consensus?
Common sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
There is no that. That's not verified. It's
that's
not
common
quantifiable.
sense.
Common sense.
What common sense
measured.
would say how are we measuring this? How are we quantifying it? By
there has to be
who's the
a
most
rubric. There have to be
critically acclaimed,
parameters.
who's the highest? Like, if we're talking about who the highest selling is, it's Drake. If we're talking about who
that means nothing.
If we're talking about who the most critically acclaimed is, it's Kendrick.
That means nothing. We're talking about remove the marks from the room. Remove Seven Hines from the room. Okay.
So are you removing yourself from the room? Because you are a certified Kendrick mark.
Sure, remove me from the room. Okay. Put sensible music listeners.
But that's just the thing. What is a sensible
music listener?
Unbiased.
No one
doesn't exist.
Nobody's unbiased.
No.
Yeah, because to like something, you have a preference for it, and that informs what you don't like.
No,
like, you know who's unbiased? Like babies. Should we fill the room with babies and see what the babies like the most?
I mean, even babies are biased. You know, they might not know why they respond well to something, but you turn on.
Okay, let me try to
rephrase viral videos. It's like, oh, we played Snoop Dogg and the baby stopped crying. It's like, I don't know. Maybe there's some frequency that made them shut up.
I don't think we've reviewed a Drake album on the show I've rated lower than Damn by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, good for you. Let me try to rephrase this. Put somebody in a room who's like, I like Drake, I like Cole, I like Kendrick equally. But if they had to choose one.
This magical person that doesn't exist.
I'm saying somebody who's not biased. Who doesn't
Elliot Wilson.
No horse in his race.
He loves them all. Elliot Wilson loves it all. He even loves
them all. P. Rose loves them all. But P. Rose is a Kendrick mark, we know.
We know. He's a Kendrick mark. No, it's
right.
Elliot Wilson's the person you're describing. He has not given us any actual signal to how he really feels about anything. We got Big Biz and Elliot Wilson in the room.
Right. If you had to make Elliot Wilson think to himself, who do you think has had the best catalog of these three?
Drake.
Who do you think he's going to say? No, he's not going to say Drake. He's a fucking idiot, so maybe he might say Drake. We can move on.
Right, and you saying that, you reveal but Drake has no chance in this useless exercise. You've already decided who the winner is, you know?
No, I didn't decide who the winner is. Like,
yes, you want it to be Kendrick because you find more value in his catalog, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
It's not about I want it to be. I honestly feel like I can tell you, like, when somebody made an album I did and didn't like, regardless of how I felt about them over time. I don't like the last few Tyler the Creator albums. I think Cherry Bomb's a piece of shit. Like, I feel like I can, remove myself.
No, what's your favorite Kendrick album?
Well, of what we rated, To Pimp a Butterfly.
In general.
It's probably that.
Okay, so it's
because if we didn't have to do the deluxe version of Good Kid, Mad City, it would be Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay, but do you like Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly as much as Nothing Was the Same?
No.
Okay, neither do I.
But that's just my preference.
And is there any Drake album that you like less than For All the Dogs? I'm sorry, is there any Kendrick album you like less than For All the Dogs? You gave Damn a 44%.
I'll say this because we're probably not reviewing it anytime soon, and I don't know how updated these ratings are, but my last listen of For All the Dogs, not the Scary Hours edition because that came out after the fact, it's a 40% weighted.
So you like it less than Damn?
What did I give Damn?
A 44%.
Well, there you go.
So basically, Drake has the highest rated album of the big three for you, and potentially the lowest rated.
I mean,
it's okay.
The Drake
Jesse.
mark of the room.
Kendrick will survive.
Jesse, do you consider Overly Dedicated and Section 80 to be part of his discography?
Yes. How were they not? Their original albums.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Because we're talking about the catalog. And if that's the case, I'm definitely he definitely doesn't have the best catalog to me. It's the second best. Because I just don't like
When is the last time you've heard Overly Dedicated?
2 or 3 years ago, probably.
It's a solid project to me. It's a reflection of, and before he really grew into himself. But
I think it's got maybe 5 or 6 good songs on it.
I'll go as far as to say it is a West Coast C word. That people, they throw that term around a lot. But to LA, it's one of those.
Section LA has lower standards. They do.
LA doesn't have lower standards.
They definitely do.
Daniel just shitted on fucking Blue Bloods Clan. LA has fine standards. Good music is good music. And y'all know in your heart of hearts, y'all are fighting a losing battle talking about nothing was the same, nothing was the same. Okay, that's one album.
Nothing Was the Same is better than To Pimp a Butterfly, to me and Mel.
This assumption that everybody has to revere Kendrick as
we have to fall in line and accept Kendrick as the top.
This unfadable, important artist.
Y'all are projecting things onto me that I'm not saying.
No, you just told me in my heart of hearts, I know that like nothing was the same. Doesn't measure. No,
you said we're fighting a losing battle.
You didn't hear me. I didn't say that. I said you're fighting a losing battle. You're talking
what does
about
that mean?
Nothing was the same. Okay, nothing was the same. I'm talking about quantity, but nothing was the same. You can say whatever you want about Section 80, but I mean the other one, OD, Section 80 is kind of undeniable for the most part.
Not a classic. No, it's not undeniable. It's deniable. I'm denying it right now, actually.
Like that. We can't use language like that.
It is not
undeniable. These are those hip-hop discussions.
There are people out there who deny it, okay? There are people who say, it's okay. It's not a classic. It's got some songs on it.
That was an album that probably defined that year that it came out.
9/11 defined the year that it happened. What are we talking about?
We're talking about an album that defined the year it came out. Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, we can move on from this discussion. Okay.
I think you're in the Kendrick bubble. And this shit's way more where people overstate the importance of this man and his contributions to hip.
I love our show because
I would like to move into T.I., but I could challenge you on that.
I love our show because we generally avoid like the circular hip hop arguments because we established a system by which we discuss things. And the system says, we're not telling you what's good or bad. We tell you how much we enjoy it because we recognize that we're just two fucking guys, in a world of billions of people. So
no, millions of people agree with what I'm saying, but it's fine.
Yeah, because millions of people agree with all kinds of things. It doesn't make it fact.
I'm not on my own island like a lot of people.
No, we know plenty of people adore Kendrick and his catalog and think that he's the most important artist of his generation. Yes, I know that's not a, rare opinion, but I'm telling you, it's an opinion, and it's okay for people to think that, as well as for people to not enjoy his catalog as much as they enjoy a J. Cole or a Drake or a Futures. Like it's fine.
Remove sales from the discussion. Remove sales from the discussion.
I was never talking about sales. You have this idea in your head of like whenever Drake's brought up that like it's always about sales. I never discuss sales.
I'm not saying names right now. I'm not saying names. Can you name to me someone you think to be more important in this generation?
I mean, based on my idea of importance, I guess like what I would say of the big three, and I'm not
talking big three. Anyone out of the other millions of rappers, anyone, any name, not big three, just anyone who is more important.
Well, in the framing of the discussion, I'm going to say that Kendrick has the highest hit rate of discussing the important issues of the times. So I guess, he's the most important rapper in that he makes music that mostly reflects what's going on in culture and society.
I thought I was in a bubble.
No matter how weighty the issues.
I thought I was in a bubble.
But what you're saying is that makes him great by default. And I'm
No,
saying that
but hold on.
discounts
But
how
if
he's
we're
discussing
talking
these important
about
topics.
if we're talking about remove the sales and we're putting him on the level of every other rapper, is what he's talking about really that revolutionary? Or is it revolutionary that a guy on a major label who has attained this level of popularity is talking like this?
Who's moving goalposts right now? I ask, who's been more important the past decade?
But that,
I'm asking
by my
for a name.
definition,
but you're saying remove sales, and part of Kendrick is that he's one of the biggest names in music. So remove sales puts him on the level of everybody else.
Remove sales means I know that there are people who might sell more than him, but who has been the most important to you?
Oh, to me?
I mean, to me, it's not Kendrick. I'm trying to speak broadly because you asked me, like,
who?
in general.
I'm asking for a name.
Bro, literally, Uncle Murda means more to me than Kendrick.
That is a personal thing.
In the last 10 years.
Opinion of Moles. Describe his importance.
I put on his music, which is entertainment, and I enjoy his bars and his songs. That's it. It doesn't have to communicate a loftier idea to me to be quote-unquote important or whatever and have this sense of profundity to be something that I enjoy. You're asking me what I enjoy. And Uncle Murda is not at the top of that list. But again, maybe we go to music for...
I said, who's the most important rapper?
You're saying to me, as in who's important to me, or what do you define importance as? Discussing political issues?
To the world, I guess, is what I'm asking.
That's a strange... I don't know how to answer that question, because I don't look to rappers to inform me about things or to speak on social issues. That's not why I listen to rap. I listen to rap and any other kind of music because I like it and I enjoy listening.
So you don't have an answer for anyone who's more important than him outside of Uncle Murda this past decade?
Important in what regard? You're not defining importance.
I said, just making a difference in the world with their music. I don't know.
Nipsey Hussle.
That's cap, but okay.
Importance doesn't equal enjoyment. Otherwise, people would love doing their taxes. You know, it's like, yeah.
Nipsey Hussle did more for the community in a verifiable sense in LA than Kendrick has done.
That's also cap.
So what has Kendrick done that's more important to the city of LA?
Just give it to the kids. Don't gossip about how it was distributed. That man, he's done plenty. But
you can't name a single thing.
I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to be offensive, so I'll move on. Yeah, I don't want LA at my head. I don't want people that listen to this who might feel away. I will type this in the chat, then we can move on. Because this is low-key line stepping.
I don't know. It's just, in my opinion, I feel like the fact that there's a debate to be had means he's not far and away the most important person in
and again, and you have to define importance
in the chat.
I don't know what
that's crazy.
That's fucked up.
Holy shit.
It's not. That's not fucked up.
That's not crazy.
That was when he became important.
No, it wasn't, because he first of all, without saying what you just typed, it's going to be hard for me to talk around it style. But the work that he did when he was alive,
no one knew about it outside of LA.
It doesn't matter outside.
He became a worldwide name when he passed away.
So Kendrick has done things outside of LA to make a difference?
Absolutely, yes.
There's
been documentaries about this. There's been documentaries. We don't have to do this. There's been documentaries about what he's done. We don't have to do this. But yeah, this man just argued, okay, the most homophobic rapper of all time is more important and we ain't know no better. And we can move on. Lenny Green. We know. We fucking know. Would you feel this way if he wasn't on G-Unit?
He's not in G-Unit.
Yeah, he is.
He is not part of G Unit. G Unit is defunct.
All right.
He's 50 Cent's hype man. If he wasn't 50 Cent's hype man, then fucking.
Yes, I enjoy his music. I don't need him to serve a larger social purpose. Yeah. You asked what's important to me. It's enjoying music. I don't care. I don't care about Kendrick saving the fucking dolphins, okay? It doesn't matter to me. Right. I don't listen to artists to set a good example for the fucking community. That's not why I listen to music. It's ridiculous.
I didn't say nothing about setting no example. I just said who's been the most important of this generation outside of the big three. Just
look, and my answer was he's important in that he's grappled with issues that other rappers
Do you have a name, Mel?
Of his stature hasn't. But here is my main argument. Just because he talked about something doesn't mean I have to care. Because what if I don't like the way he described it? This is the same man who's forgive your abusers and, you know, that nigga made Billie Jean. You think he touched them kids? Those aren't exactly great messages. He's also the respectability politics guy. It's like he's as flawed as any human being, which he discussed on Mr. Morale. Where did I say
he wasn't flawed?
So it's just, well, you present this idea of importance like he's a thought leader and what he says goes and it's the correct take. And I'm like, just because you discuss
or that he just deserves brownie points for discussing homophobia and transphobia. Good for you, buddy. You want to know something? Most trans people that I follow thought that song was pathetic.
I'm not even talking about views and fucking, you know, or like messages or any of that. Okay.
You are, though. You're talking about he discussed homophobia, he discussed this, he discussed that. Who's more important? Based on these lofty subjects, basically.
That's one aspect of the discussion. Jay-Z and Eminem were amongst the most important rappers of their era. I'm asking for this past era who's more important than Kendrick.
And that's undefinable because, you know, I can only answer from my perspective of what importance is.
From your perspective,
people have different ideas of importance.
From your perspective, who's been more important this past decade? Wayne was the most important. Was one of the most important
based on the conversations that he sparked. That doesn't mean I find him personally important.
I'm not talking about conversations he sparked. I'm not talking about conversations he sparked. Wayne was one of the most important rappers of like 2000, maybe 6 to like.
Now it just sounds like we're talking about the artists who define their era. I mean, in that case, then Drake's important, Cole's important, Tyler's important.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are we talking about? You haven't defined importance yet.
Hey, I'm ready to talk about T.I. personally, you know.
I kind of defined importance. I said of the big three, like he's been like the guy, but whatever. He hasn't hit a decline like for all the dogs.
I promise you, he doesn't need defending to this degree any more than Drake does or Cole does. Or anybody that's at that stature.
I just don't know why
their legacies are secure.
I just don't know why people treat this guy like he's some sort of, you know, like deity within HIB, when in reality, if you remove him from the context of being a mainstream major label artist, he's really not that special.
It's pretty simple, and then we can move on. It's pretty simple. He gets looked at as a deity because the bar is so fucking low. He's the only one that is really making people feel like, holy shit, like mainstream HIB is still kind of meaningful, kind of good.
That's just
who else?
I mean, it's just wholly your opinion. I mean, I don't know how else to
right there. I need you to understand there are people out there who aren't feeling that way.
Yeah. Just as there are people out there who do feel that way, but you cannot parade your opinion around as law or fact or undeniable truth.
I'm not giving opinion. I'm telling you how people are reacting and why they're reacting this way, because the bar is so low. It's the same reason that that Nas and Hit Boy series got all of the acclaim, and that's not even on a mainstream level, but it felt like, oh wow, music feels like something again for a little while.
Well, but then now your argument is he's
saying.
important because the bar is low. So what does that really mean? Is he truly important? So
right.
like,
If Kendrick was around in the era where things were hyper competitive, would he have reached the heights he's at now?
Or rather, the era where most mainstream artists, like, you know, the Native Tongues type era, you know, like where they were expected to talk about those things, and it wasn't.
He would be one of the guys, but now he's like the guy doing this. He would have been one of the guys in the 90s doing this, but now he's the guy doing this. Like, this is not my opinion. This is kind of like, fact, the bar is so low, so every Kendrick fucking, like, on a lower level, on a super underground level, it's the Griselda effect. They get all this fucking acclaim because it's like, oh, music don't sound like this no more. So, like, but I don't like those guys. I happen to like what Kendrick does.
And that's what it comes down to.
Right. The
because
Griselda guys get all that acclaim. I don't see what's so great about them, but
they're not great to me.
And there are some people that would say Kendrick's not great to them. This idea that he's the only guy doing this, he's the most successful guy doing this, but Cole made a whole album about, you know, teenage drug use and
right. Didn't Killer Mike just win Album of the Year for that album of respectability politics and all the rest of it, basically?
I heard that album once. I don't even really know that album that much.
Did he not win the Grammy?
He did win the Album of the Year.
Talking about the same shit Kendrick talks about, by the way.
What does that mean?
He's not the only one doing
guy. He's the only guy to you.
By the way, it just so happens I don't really like that album very much either. I don't need my rap to be CNN.
This is CNN.
I mean, the Grammys is not the greatest argument, though. Kendrick wins every fucking time that he drops. That's aside from Macklemore. He wins Rap Album of the Year every time he drops, aside from Macklemore. But that's not the best argument, because they'll give a Grammy to anybody who
we know
who had a decent year. Like Cardi B got Grammy of the Year. I mean, Rap Album of the Year.
Hey, we'll be on this forever unless I hit this.
Hi guys. Okay, we're gonna stop with this.
Yeah, we should.
And we're gonna talk about something else.
Yeah, okay. Could have been stopped with this. Y'all could have just admitted Drake is on
track. Hillbillies is his best song. It's his best song, Jesse. How do you like that? Of all time? Yeah.
Of all time?
It's the one I most enjoy listening to from him. It's the least important, actually, but the most enjoyable.
It's better than everything on
everything.
To Butterfly to you?
Everything. I love it. It might be my favorite song of last year. That's why I'm so disappointed in him, honestly. He's back on this save the world shit. He's back on this, you know,
this crusade against,
yeah, right. This I'm the fucking savior shit instead of making fun songs like the Hillbillies. That's how you take what Drake does and make it better, by the way.
I only heard that verse once, but I don't think it was I'm the savior. It was like, fuck y'all, I'm the best rapper.
Yeah, I don't want him on that
I'm
shit.
Here to save you from the scourge of the light-skinned Canadian who makes love songs and you know, has songs written for him. That is how the song is coded, you know.
Nah, it was just
I'm
the
best
rapper.
Also his personal gripe with, you know, Drake for whatever reason. We still don't know, but yeah. All right.
The man challenged everybody to rap. Nobody wanted to rap aside from people that were like doing it for
20
clout.
people. 20
Lenny
people.
Green. Yeah, Lenny Green.
ASAP, everyone. ASAP.
Fuck it, Sap. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Uncle Murder. He ain't know no better.
Listen, leave my uncle alone.
That man is 48 years old talking about we ain't know no better. In 2024.
Right, here we go. We're going to do it. And action.